Good morning, 8th grade algebra scholars. For today's ELT, the first part, you're going to solve each system of equation by graphing. So this page is front and back. And the good thing about this is, so the first thing we want to do whenever we're graphing is check to make sure we have slope-intercept form. And remember, slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. So looking at this practice, all of these equations are already in slope-intercept forms for you. So we're very lucky we get to get right into graphing. Now, for number 1, I'm going to start by graphing this first equation. So in this first equation, remember we always start graphing at the y-intercept. This equation has a y-intercept of positive 3. After I graph my y-intercept, I then look at the slope. So it's negative 5 over 3. So negative means my slope's going to go like this. And it's rise 5, run 3. So since I can't go up 5 this way, I'm going to go down 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead, make this graph. Okay, so this one's done. Now I'm going to look at this one. This one starts at the y-intercept of negative 3. And then my slope is rise 1, run 3. So from here I'm going to go up 1 over 1, 2, 3. Up 1, 1, 2, 3 would be right here. So to solve a system of equation by graphing, I look for the point at which they intersect. That point is right here. So that point would be 3, negative 2. Okay, number 2 is the same thing. Just remember, if it says y equals negative x minus 2, there's actually a 1 here. So this line has a slope of negative 1 over 1. Now moving down to number 4, this one is a little bit trickier because it just says y equals negative 1. So I need to remember HOY VUX, which means horizontal line has a 0 slope, and it means that y is equaling something. So here I would have a 0 slope, y equals negative 1, that's here, and my slope is gonna, or my line is gonna be horizontal, like this. Okay, and then so that's all graph. Now for this one, this equation, it has a y-intercept, or b, of positive 4, and then a slope of negative 5 over 2, or m. So I go down 1, sorry about that. I would, from here, go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I would go over 1, 2. Okay, so our solution is going to be right here, and that's at point 2, negative 1. So those are 2 examples to get you started. Please try your best. Remember, your CA is on Thursday, so we have today, tomorrow, and Wednesday to really, really prepare. Now, when you get to the next practice for Monday, this is a review of short answer questions similar to what you might see on a constructed response. So I want you to try this by yourself for about 5 minutes, and then if you have trouble, you can come back to the video. So I have a figure here, and it asks me to write an expression that represents the volume of the shape. So this is a rectangular prism. I know that volume is a measure of everything that can fit inside. So volume equals length times width times height. So I'm given an expression for length, an expression for width, and an expression for height. I literally need to multiply them all together. So x, y to the second power, times 2x cubed y to the second power, times 4x squared times y. When I'm multiplying, I multiply the coefficients first. So this would have a coefficient of 1 times 2 times 4 is 8. And then I look at all the x's I have being multiplied together. So I have x, and this x would have an exponent of 1. X to the third, x to the second. When I'm multiplying exponents, or when I'm multiplying with exponents, I have the same base, I add. So this would be 1 plus 3 is 4, plus 2 is 5. So I did that, did that, did that. Now I have to worry about the y. Same thing. I'm going to add the exponents of all the y's. So 2 plus 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5. Now for this one, is this a function? So, remember, functions, the x cannot repeat. No x value will be matched with more than one y value. And f of x, so I have x here, f of x is another way to say y. So here 5 goes, the x is 5, the y is 4. 5 only goes with 4. That's great. Here 7 appears to only be going to 3. That's fine. 8. 8 is the x value. It's going to 3 and it's going to 9. This cannot happen. So is this a function? No. What is the range? Remember, range means what is the y value? I have 3 y values here. 3, 4, 9. That would be the range. Okay, moving on to this one. What is the x-intercept of the function? So x-intercept is different than the y-intercept. So here, the y-intercept would be right here. I'm sorry that it keeps losing focus. Okay, so the y-intercept would be positive 3. But I don't want that. I want the x-intercept. So where does it cross the x-axis? Right there, where x equals 1. Okay, and then this one right here, I have 3y to the negative 4th. I know that I cannot have a negative exponent. So I'm going to move everything that has a negative exponent to the denominator, which right now the denominator is currently a 1. So does the 3 have a negative exponent? No. 3 actually has an exponent of 1, but we don't have to write it. So the only thing that should move is the y to the negative 4th. So the 3 stays in my numerator. And then it becomes y to the positive 4th, which is answer choice D. Thank you so much for your hard work today.